ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Our ancient sages and rishis, they were very, very intelligent. To teach their pupils and other normal people, they used to tell stories. Through these stories, they used to teach the very complicated and complex spiritual matters in a nutshell. Through stories and examples, the very deep ideas of spirituality can be understood easily and in a very short period. So I am going to narrate a story of a young boy whose name was Satyakama. He was a true seeker of truth. He was determined to know the truth of spirituality, the truth of human values, truth of the Atman, the soul. He was born to a woman whose marriage was not conducted. She was working in households as a maid. So, without knowing who is the father of her son, she conceived. So, when the boy asked about his father's name, she was in a very, very puzzled situation, because in actuality, in the real sense, she was not aware of the name of who was his father. So let us proceed with the story. This is the story of a young boy. He lived up to his true name. His mother Jabala had named him Satyakama. At his birth, Satyakama, the desirer or seeker of truth. So this is also a story of how anyone who is sincerely intent on knowing the truth not only comes closer to the truth and directly perceives the truth, but also becomes the truth itself. A story about tenacious pursuit of truth to become one with it. In very, very ancient times, difficult to say what was the period, but truly it was very long ago. It so happened here in this very land of Bharat, there was a young boy who carried within him an deep flame of aspiration of knowing the truth about the self, truth about the human body, truth about the other spiritual matters. It was a very special desire and aspiration, fervent but very pure. He longed to be taken under the wings of a guru who would initiate him into the world of true knowledge. But there was a hurdle on the way, because any guru or preceptor will initiate anyone into the world of knowledge if the proper ancestry is not known of the seekers. This posed an insurmountable challenge for the young boy. He simply did not know who was his father. So one day he gathered courage and asked his mother, "My dear mother, who is my father? May I know from you?" Jabala, his mother, was always used to be having this fear in her mind, so she was in a position that she can deny no further. So she explained with a heavy heart. She started narrating the real happening. "My dear child, I really do not know who your father is. When I was young, before you were born, I used to serve in many houses and attend to many guests. It was during such a time that I conceived you. So I really do not know who your father is. But my name is Jabala and your name is Satyakama. Let the world know you as Satyakama Jabala." Thus the truth of his origins were revealed to Satyakama Jabala, an illegitimate child, anyone would say. But Satyakama was not perturbed. The search for the truth was a pure flame burning intensely in his heart. Carrying this pure flame of aspiration for knowing the truth, Satyakama went to a sage who lived in an ashram in the nearby forest. The rishi Hari Durmata Gautama was one of the greatest preceptors of the time. Satyakama went to him and prostrated at his feet, expressing his wish to be initiated into the world of knowledge of the truth. As per the tradition, Rishi Haridurmata Gautama first inquired about the young boy's lineage. With no hesitation, without hiding anything, Satyakama said, "Dear revered Gurudev, before coming here, I did ask my mother to tell me about my father. She told me that she had no idea about who my father was. When she was young, she, while serving at various homes, had conceived me, but she told me that her name is Jabala and mine is Satyakama, and the world will know me as Satyakama Jabala." Rishi Haridurmata Gautam was enraptured by the truth speaker. He said, "My dear child, none other than true seeker of the truth can speak these words with such transparency. You have not deviated from the truth. Now go and fetch the dry woods. I will initiate you." The intense desire in Satyakama was no different from the driest of the dry woods Arni, both ready to catch fire. All that was needed was a spark from the revered Guru. Thus, Satyakama carried within him every quality that was necessary to be initiated into the world of knowledge. The Guru, after initiation, led him to the cattle shed at the ashram. There he separated 400 lean and weak cows from the herd and said, "My dear child, herd these cows into the forest and take good care of them." Satyakama bowed down at Rishi Haridurmata Gautama's feet. He wanted to leave no stone unturned in excelling at the task assigned by the Guru. "I shall not return until these cows become 1,000, Satyakama said as he set about to herd the cows into the forest. Rishi Haridurmata Gautama smiled and blessed the enthusiastic new disciple. Now this might seem like a deviation from the spiritual education that Satyakama sought at the ashram. Instead of receiving knowledge in the Guru's proximity, he was banished far away into the forest. But rishis follow no prescribed form of education. Instead, they transcend the ordinary norms and structures. A rishi has true insights into what is required for the inner growth of a seeker. He knows fully well that the path to truth is unique to each individual seeker. A guru understands the inner landscape of a student, how strong are his aspirations, the readiness and the maturity, the swabhava and svadharma of the seeker that resides in the student, and most importantly, the purity, sincerity, and devotedness with which the student is willing to pursue true spiritual knowledge. Satyakama had all these qualities in him, and all that he needed now was the solitude of the forest where he could contemplate by himself. Far away from the ashram in the forest, Satyakama carried the living presence of the Guru within him. While tending to the cows, he engaged in an intense tapasya. He lost count of the time as days, months, and years passed by. Satyakama was becoming deeply entrenched in the state of silence. It thus happened that one day, when a Varshba bull approached Satyakama, he felt as though he was in the very presence of his Guru. He got up and prostrated himself in front of the Varshba. Before he could raise his head, the Varshba said to him, "Dear Satyakama, the cows have become 1,000 in number. As per your promise to your Gurudeva, you must now take them to the ashram." Hearing this, Satyakama humbly said, "Yes, revered teacher, I will do as you say." Then Varshba continued, "Listen, my dear child, I did not come here to only remind you to take us all back to the ashram. Pleased by your tapasya, I am compelled to reveal a part of the supreme knowledge to you. This knowledge of the Brahman must be known in its four aspects. I am now revealing to you the first aspect. Know that the Brahman is Prakasvana or the manifest one. This first aspect in turn has four limbs: East, Prachi, West, Partichi, South, Dakshina, and North, Udichi. Through these four quarters, the Brahman appears as the manifest one or the Prakasva, the one, the individual, the indescribable, manifest as or in the four quarters, and he who contemplates on these four manifest aspects of the Brahman, attains to the state of Brahman and gets victory over all the manifest worlds. The bull or Varshaba, as it is known in Sanskrit, symbolizes fertility, abundance, diffusion, generation, impregnation, and strength. When the power of tapasya increases, it starts fertilizing the consciousness and prepares it to hold the abundance of truth, light, dynamism, love, and ananda. One starts shining as the supreme reality shines, manifesting as the four direction, east, west, north, and south. Finally, the Varshaba said, "This is one pada, quarter foot of the Brahman. This new aspect of the Brahman will be revealed to you by Agni, O dear Satyakama." Leading the 1,000 cows, Satyakama started his journey towards the ashram of his guru. As the sun set, he stopped for the night and made preparation for the fire for his ritual and sat facing east. With his mind in meditative state, pondering on the impressions he received from the Varshaba, Satyakama invoked Lord Agni. He could now hear the voice of Agni speaking directly to him. Dear Satyakama, I will declare to you the second pada of Brahman. Know that the Brahman is Anantvan or endless. Of this endless Brahman, the earth is 1/4, the sky is 1/4, heaven is 1/4, the ocean is 1/4. This, dear friend, is another aspect of the Brahman consisting of 4 quarters, and this aspect is called Anantvat, endless. The earth, Prithvi, the space, Antariksha, the heaven, Dhyanu, Dev, and the ocean, Samudra. All of these are symbolic representation of vastness, largeness, and infinitude. One experiences the Anantaya or infinitude or endlessness in all these four. That infinitude indeed is nature of the Brahman, and whoever holds this infinitude in one's consciousness becomes endowed with the virtue of endlessness. He becomes Brahman, the endless, and attains the endless world of higher realms. Satyakama bowed his head in reverence to Agni. Next day at dawn, Satyakama continued to drive the cows towards the Guru's ashram. He walked with the cows all day, and at the end of the day he kindled the fire again, added fuel to the fire, penned the cows, and sat down near them behind the fire, facing east. All of a sudden a Hamsa swan came flying and said, Satyakama, I shall teach you the third pada of Brahman. Know that the Brahman is Jyotisman, or the most effulgent one. This aspect of the Brahman too consists of 4 things: the fire Agni, the sun Surya, the moon Chandra, and the lightning Vidyut. In all these 4, O Satyakama, see the Brahma as Jyotisman, or the most effulgent, the most luminous one. Knowing the Brahman as Jyotisman and meditating upon him as the effulgent one becomes effulgent in this world. Then the swan told him that a loon would teach him the last or the fourth pada of the Brahman. The fire Agni, the sun Surya, the moon Chandra, and the lightning Vidyut, all of them represent light and luminosity. Swan, which is white, bright and shining, is the symbol of the liberated soul in the higher plane. According to Sri Aurobindo, the swan is the Indian symbol of the individual soul, the central being, the divine part which is turned towards the divine, descending from there and ascending to it. To contemplate on a swan or even to see a swan in dream symbolically mean to open oneself to the light. There is a beautiful dialogue between Yagnavalkya and Janaka narrated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 4th chapter, 3rd stanza, in which Janaka asks Yajnavalkya to enlighten him about the light that illumines a person, the light that awakens and impels him to perform all that he does. And in his answer, Yajnavalkya mentions that it is the sun which alone is the source of all light, and in the absence of sun it is moon that gives light, in the absence of moon it is fire, and in the absence of fire it is speech, and in the absence of all these it is self that is the light. Saying this, Yajnavalkya enlightens Janaka about the light of all lights, the Brahman as the light of all lights. Jyotisman is to be contemplated in the sun, moon, fire and lightning. Thus one becomes one with the Jyotisman, Brahman, and attains the realm of supreme light. Varenyam Bharga Jyotirmanam. Next morning, once again, Satyakama embarked in the direction of his Guru's ashram. Towards evening, when the cows came together, he kindled a fire there, added fuel to the fire, penned the cows and sat down near them behind the fire. Facing east, then a loon, Madgu, appeared before him and said, Satyakama, I shall teach you the fourth and last pada of Brahman. Know that the Brahman is Anant One, or the all sporting. This part Brahman further consists of 4 quarters: Prana, Chakshu, Srotram and Manas. One who knows him thus and meditates upon him as the all sporting becomes that in this world. A Madgu or a loon, also known as the diver bird, is a metaphor for the spirit of diving deep. To realize the higher and deeper aspects of the Brahman, one needs to dive into the deepest depth of oneself. It refers to approaching the realm of the unknown, which is no easy task. It requires much inner strength and courage. Satyakama had this inner strength and courage, because of which he arrived at a stage when the higher knowledge was revealed to him. In this part, the Brahman is introduced to Satyakama as the Anant One, or all sporting. This all sporting supreme Brahman, the alone, moves out of itself to create the worlds for its future habitation in the form of Purusha to support his own creation. He then creates dwellers within this habitat, which are the various faculties of the consciousness through which the Purusha works out everything in the world. Among all these faculties, the principal ones are the prana or the breath, Chakshu or the sight, Srotram or the hearing, and Manas or the mind. It is through these the Brahman makes itself known. Therefore, the Madhu told Satyakama that the one who contemplates on the Brahman as a Ayatanvana or all sporting becomes the same. After receiving this final part of the Brahmgyanam, Satyakama finally arrived at the Guru's ashram with the 1,000 cows. The Guru Haridurmata Gautam asked him, Dear boy, your face shines with the knowledge of Brahman. Who taught you this? Satyakama narrated his encounters with the four teachers. Versababul, who spoke about the Prakasvan Brahman Agni, Prakasvan Brahman Agni fire, who extolled the values of Anantvan Brahman, Hansa Swan, who described the Jyotismana Brahman, and finally the diver bird Madgu, who waxed eloquent about the Ayatvana Brahman. As Haridrumata Gautama listened intently to his student Satyakama bowed his head and finally said, "O Bhagwan, I now request you to expound these to me personally, because I know that the knowledge received directly from one's own Guru makes all the learned perfect. The Guru, as always, presents to the disciple the divine wisdom, which conveys to the student something of the divine ideal and makes the student feel the true relation of the human soul with the eternal." Rishi Haridrumata Gautama, the revered Guru of Satyakama, enlightened him by reiterating the same knowledge but expounded the concepts with subtler meanings to the earnest student Satyakama. And this is how Satyakama, the truth seeker, obtained the absolute knowledge of Brahman from his Guru. Satyakama himself later flourished as a great teacher of the Brahma Vidya. Thank you for watching this wonderful video. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you. Namaste.